Gregg Popovich, what he meant to you, and your reaction to him no longer being a coach?
Yeah. Well, to me, he's the greatest coach in NBA history. Um, I mean, he has the most all-time wins. That's one thing. But he won 5 championships through multiple eras, and he kept adjusting to the evolution of the game, and he was a big part of the evolution of the game too. So, all those things are beyond notable. And then he helped so many coaches along the way. His coaching tree is amazing. But there was one instance where I was an assistant here, didn't get the job here in 2000, and that fall he invited me to come down to their camp to watch and sit in on some meetings and actually travel with them for a couple games, which was really meaningful to me and really gave me a lot of confidence headed into a year where I was trying to become a first-time head coach. So his impact on the coaching profession and the entire game is massive. And the important thing is that his health is good, and that it's going in a great direction, and that he's still going to be involved.
Do you have any one game going against him that stands out in your memory?
There's plenty. There's plenty. I mean, being in the same division for 13 years, we played them a lot. We played them in the playoffs a couple of times, and so there was great familiarity between the franchises. And San Antonio was always a very difficult place to go because he was there, because their teams were really good and their fans were great too. So it's a seismic thing that he's out of coaching. But with over 1,400 wins and the most wins all time, I mean, his mark is indelible.
Go ahead. You're gonna ask about Gregg.
I was going to ask just, what did you learn in that time you spent with the coach? Particularly at that point in your career, I mean, what are the things you took away from that, and what are the things that you still look back to that have an impact from just that time?
Well, it was just a great opportunity to see how he operated his team. His approach to relationships, his approach to delegation and the staff, et cetera, et cetera. And I learned a lot. I mean, he was a guy that empowered his players, but he empowered his staff too. And that's one reason that you see so many of his former assistants have gone beyond and become head coaches and been very successful.
We talked a lot about the Cavs yesterday, obviously, but what to you makes their offense as potent as it is? Something specific they do? Is it the talent they have? Why are they able to score so easily?
Well, they have a great roster. That's one thing. Their use of spacing is second to none. They have so many playmakers. And what's happened is, the emergence of a guy like Ty Jerome adds another layer. Garland has become stronger, physically. Merrill's shooting, as they've added him to the consistent rotation, creates more space. I think you got to look at Mobley's three-point shooting this year. It's become a major factor. And it's just, when you have bigs that can shoot the ball like that, I coached Dirk Nowitzki for 13 years, and having him on the floor created a 4-on-4 game and a full-court NBA game because there's just people so close to him. And Mobley is now a guy that you have to stay close to. So they really don't have, the only guy that doesn't shoot a lot of threes is Allen, but he makes his free throws, and he knows exactly where to be when. And so they just, and I think the other thing that's important, compelling about their situation, they were a young team and now they've really become a veteran team. And so, when you go from young to veteran, there's an element of experience that really enhances your group. So I think all those things are a part of it. Kenny Atkinson's done a great job, but JB Bickerstaff, the foundation that he laid there for 5 years set them up for this kind of success.
I know I asked this early in the series, but what did you like about Jarris and Ben Shepherd and how they handled their situations, basically, doing the stay ready sort of situation, not necessarily knowing what they're going to do from year every night, but obviously stepping in a bunch of different scenarios and getting some good things.
Well, Jarris has made great strides as a professional this year, just with his approach. He's changed his body. His skill level continues to increase. His awareness. I mean, he guards all these different positions, and so the thing that had to change from last year was just the approach and the understanding that things may not be consistent all the time. Now that said, he played over 1,100 minutes. He played over 15 and a half minutes a game. He was in the rotation the vast majority of the time, so he did get a taste of it on a very consistent basis. But there were a few times when he didn't play. But when those times happened, he kept his head down, got in the gym the next day on an off day, busted his ass, and got ready for the next game. And that's a young guy turning into a pro.